Okay, this one's important. You may want to watch this several times just to make sure that you understand this one completely, because this one is the only one really that can be tricky. If you get this, the biconditional will be no problem and truth trees will be easy. If this one's difficult for you, you might stumble a bit. So I'm going to ask you to make a flashcard on this one once we get to the rule. This type of statement that we're looking at now is called a conditional or a hypothetical statement. It is an assertion of if, then. Here I've changed from P's and Q's now to F's and C's, and we'll see why in a second. This statement asserts that if F is true, then C is true. If F is true, then C is true. Now, it's very important to notice that what this statement asserts is that if this condition is met, then this condition will follow. It doesn't say that if this condition is met, then this one will follow. The arrow goes one direction. Notice this says, if this condition is met, then this condition will follow. So, for example, if you call me fat, then I'll punch you in the neck. Notice I'm asserting a relationship between the two. I'm not saying that you are going to call me fat. I'm not saying I am going to punch you in the neck. I'm asserting a relationship. If you call me fat, then I'll punch you in the neck. That doesn't mean that if I punch you in the neck that you called me fat. I could punch you in the neck for a lot of reasons. I'm prone to that. So ultimately, the only thing here that's being stated is, if this condition is met, then this one will follow. With the and statement, with the or statement, which one comes first doesn't matter. P and Q, Q and P, P or Q, Q or P, all says the same thing. So we call them disjuncts, and we call them conjuncts, and P and Q, it doesn't matter. This one, because it's asserting that if this condition is met, then this condition will follow, it's asserting a relationship, and the ordering does matter, so we give them separate names. Here, F is called the antecedent condition. If you play poker, you have to ante up, ante, A-N-T-E, antecedent, beforehand. Before you get your cards, you have to throw the money in and bet, right? So the before condition, and then the consequent, or what follows from condition. So F is called the antecedent, C is called the consequent. And the ordering is very important. Now, we're going to give an example here to uncover the truth value, what the conditions are that would make a conditional statement true or false. I'm going to let F stand for you get an A on the final. And I'm going to let C stand for you get an A in the class. And let's say that I assert, this is a lie, but let's say I assert that if you get an A in the final, then you'll get an A in the class. Well, under what conditions would that statement be true? Well, if I assert if you get an A in the final, then you'll get an A in the class, and you did get an A in the final, and you did get an A in the class, then my statement was true. If I assert if you get an A in the final, then you'll get an A in the class, and you did get an A in the final, and you did not get an A in the class, my statement is false. If I assert, and this is very important for the next two, listen very carefully. This asserts if you get an A on the final, then you get an A in the class. But if you didn't get an A on the final, and you did get an A in the class, my statement is still sort of irrelevant to you. So it's true, it's not false. Nothing has falsified my statement if you didn't meet the antecedent condition. And the final possibility we have is where F is false and C is false. Where you didn't get an A in the final and you didn't get an A in the class. Nothing falsifies my statement. If you get an A in the final, then you get an A in the class if you didn't meet my antecedent condition. So if you notice here in our truth values that ultimately there's only one time this statement's going to be false. There's only one instance where the statement will be false. This statement will be false when the antecedent is true and the consequent is false. That's what you've got to memorize. A conditional statement is only false when the antecedent is true and the consequent is false. A conditional statement is only false when the antecedent is true and the consequent is false.